Welcome to day 5. Today we're going to talk about a very important topic in order for you to get some time back in your life. But before we do, I thought we would talk about our extra cast member that you see behind us. As normal, on Tuesdays we bring our kids to theater and try to get some things done while they're in their theater practice. Our oldest is obviously done with their theater practice and we're waiting on our youngest to get out. So we thought we'd still use some of this time and try to give you a tip to help take some of your time back.
So we're utilizing step 4, multitasking.
That's right. So today we're going to be talking about a very important key to getting time in order in your life, and that is the ability to say no. So we all have tons and tons of demands on the time of our life, whether that's your kids' Girl Scout troop or the soccer team or being involved in church or cooking meals for people who just had babies or that are in the hospital. All of those things are absolutely wonderful and you should be involved in some of them. But oftentimes what happens, and we've seen this a lot in Jody, that we've had to navigate through because she loves to help people. She loves to be a benefit to those that are hurting or that are in need, or just to help out, whether that be with the kids' activities or whatever else may come up. But there's only so many hours in a day, and you have priorities that we've talked about. And once you set goals and your priorities, there's time for some of helping other people or being involved in different extracurricular activities for your kids, but you cannot do it all. And since Jody has had the most experience with this, she may have some words of wisdom for us.
Yes, so this was a really difficult thing for me to learn. As Patrick said, I am a people pleaser and I love to help people at the same time. And so I found myself very overwhelmed at times because being a stay-at-home mom, I think a lot of people think that you just sit around and watch TV and don't do anything. I don't know. But oftentimes people will be like, well, Jody, you're home. Can you do this? Jody, you're home. Can you do that? And I felt obligated for one, but I also wanted to serve and help out. And so I'd be like, yeah, sure, I can do that. Yeah, sure, I can do that. And I found myself becoming very stressed, very high anxiety. And I felt like I was neglecting a lot of the things that I am called to do to serve my family and my husband and my kids. Like, that's your first priority. And so if you're not taking care of your home, you shouldn't be serving as much outside of your home. You need to get your house together and organized and a place of home and rest so that you can go out and help other people. Once you get that organization done, then I feel like you can go out and serve with a better heart and a better spirit. For instance, one night we had friends who their daughter had surgery, and I just saw a need, and I was like, hey, do you guys want dinner? And they were like, that would be fantastic. And then I started beginning to realize what I just committed myself to. And Patrick was working a double that day, so he was not home at all. Our girls, it was a theater night. We were leaving very quickly. We had stuff all day long. I literally had an hour to cook dinner, to drive the dinner to these people in the opposite direction that I was going, and then to get my girls back to theater in time. And I realized it was just physically impossible for me to do what I had committed myself to do. And so sometimes you just have to say, you know what, as much as I would love to do that, I can't. And so another tip that comes along with this is something that I also struggled with, is it's okay to ask for help. So that night I reached out to our community group and just said, hey, can you guys help me? I see a need. This family needs us to serve them, but I just physically can't do it. Can you guys help us? And that comes with other stuff too in life, I forgot where I was going.
That's okay. Let me jump in here. If you can have the best motives when you say yes to all of these things, but what happens is when the reality of all of those things that you said yes to builds up and it adds stress in your life, it changes your heart motivation, because now you're going to be serving or being involved in all of those things that you committed to just because you committed to them and not for the reason of helping or caring for other people. So it negates anything you're doing anyway. So it's not beneficial for the people you're serving, and it's not beneficial for you to overcommit yourself. So it's another reason. So not just to get your life in order, but there's really no benefit to overextending yourself because your heart motivation is going to be in the wrong place when you're stressed out and trying to run in a million different directions and not doing anything well.
Yeah, so your homework assignment today is to look at your schedule. Figure out where you're overcommitted. For one, I love being with my friends. I love play dates. I love Bible studies. We love hanging out with our friends, but there are some times when you just have to say, 10 Bible studies this month is just too much. I need to back off. Or, 3 play dates this week is just a little too much. We need to cancel some. Or maybe this week you've already committed to those, but being aware that in the future you set goals that only 1 or 2 play dates that week, or however that looks for you and your family. And you need to set your own boundaries, but you need to set those boundaries and stick with them. Because it's oftentimes people will come to you and it's so hard. Like, I see needs posted on Facebook all the time of people saying, I need your help, I need your help. And it takes everything inside me to, not do it. But I realize I need to serve my family first.
I want to jump in again because we've talked a lot about Jody being overcommitted, and this just hit me. We didn't discuss this before we started this video, but for the men or for the working moms, as a man, I'm called to work and try to provide as best I can for my family. Sometimes I need to say no to work in order to take care of other responsibilities. So I need this as well that I hadn't thought about before we started this video, that sometimes there may be an opportunity for me to work overtime, and that's okay to say yes to work. But overworking is just as bad as overextending yourself with extracurriculars, so you need to be able to say no to work as well as those other things that we've discussed.
Right. Now, he's saying don't just, call off work. Just to be clear, he's talking about overtime, extra projects that you can be offered. There's a time and a place for that. So don't overwork yourself if you work your normal job. But overtime, don't. So look at your calendar. Figure out where you can say, we need to step back and give somebody else an opportunity to serve here. We will see you tomorrow.
Thanks again.